Welcome to the Boston Art Podcast. I am Brian Huntress.
I'm Theodora Earthworms.
And this is the episode.
Woo!
Process?
Cool.
Matter to me. Do you guys need water or anything?
I think I'm okay for now.
Okay.
If I drink too much water right off the bat, I'm going to definitely have to go to the bathroom in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Let's to avoid that, I guess.
It's a small venue, so bathroom's right there.
wonderful. This is a nice place. I see you've read Game of Thrones.
No.
Oh, you haven't?
I just have them there for people to...
Good series.
Yeah. No, I've actually been getting into... I don't know if you've ever read the Aragon series.
Yes.
I was big
I
into it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I just picked it up again.
Amazing.
I haven't read in a while. And yeah, I'm just big into fantasy.
That's awesome. I read Aragon when I was a kid, too, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if it holds up. I haven't read it since I was probably 13. But
It holds up to me, but I'm sure to other people it does not.
Gotcha.
And they slightly ruined it for me with the movie. So.
yeah, movie was bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantasy series that I completely missed. I haven't even heard about it.
Yeah.
should-
Or
read
I
it.
think I did a little bit, but I didn't really know about it.
I'll do a re.
I definitely won't. Maybe I'll check out the movie.
Don't.
I won't.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, do not-
just
do not
fucking
check out.
avoid it
I
completely.
can turn this off.
But yeah, I guess we could start off by you could tell us your name or what
Yeah.
it is you do.
Introduce
Or
you.
like,
Yeah, sure. My name's Kieran Kelleher.
awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, is this some of your art that's hanging up here with the chains and
Yes,
shit and the
yep.
painting of the child?
Of the child.
I love that.
Yeah. Yep,
Awesome.
both me.
Did you grow up in Plymouth?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I guess like what I don't know where to start. I'm like losing my tongue here a little bit. What kind of shit do you do? Are you mainly a painter or a photographer or multimedia?
Yeah, so started off definitely just painting. And then it's kind of branched out from there. So I kind of do a little bit of everything. Recently started getting into music.
Nice.
I've always kind of been into music. My friends make music. So I would just kind of like be in on their process. Be like, yeah, that sounds decent, that type of thing. And then picked up guitar like 6 months ago. So
Cool.
doing that. That's fun. Video production, shot some music videos for some friends. But yeah, I mean, painting is definitely my main medium, I would say. Yeah, but I'm trying to do many things. Probably why I'm not really good at anything. But I just something catches my eye. I want to try it and do it. So
Cool. How long have you been painting for?
not very long. Probably
Oh,
like 2.5-ish years, like full on painting.
Well, that's a while.
Yeah. I mean, it's felt like a while. But yeah, I've always kind of like felt a creative something inside of me. And just like 2.5 years ago, I think that was like maybe just before the pandemic, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like mainly just bored and was like, I gotta do something, like just release some energy here.
Yeah.
So I think I watched like, it's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of people have told me that like Francis Bacon was like, they're big into him and that's like they kind of started. But I watched like a Francis Bacon documentary, crazy guy in a small studio,
Really
shit
interesting.
going everywhere. Yeah, he's really interesting guy too. But yeah, I watched that and then just was like, screw it, let me try it. I think my first one was like a really bad Amy Winehouse painting that's in the bathroom, and it's that's just where it started. So.
Nice.
So what do you? So I think it's interesting that you would, I guess, go directly from painting. Like, where were you doing other creative work like in your life before that?
Yeah, so writing is been a big part of my life.
Like fiction or poetry?
Yeah, like honestly, Aragon is like it's like that genre, that whole universe is like what I go for.
Yeah.
So like I made my own mini Aragon thing. It was
cool.
called like Aragus or something like that. Like just a complete knockoff thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like, offhand, pretty crappy poetry and stuff like that, off and on my whole life. And yeah, but I was like big sports kid, didn't do really anything outside of sports growing up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it's always been a longing, but it just never something I actually took a try at. So
Were you a baseball player?
no, I was
Okay.
a soccer player.
Okay, I can see that. I felt baseball for some reason.
Maybe the hat. I don't know. I actually hate baseball.
Gotcha. I'm not into it really either. I played
Okay,
hockey
good.
growing up, but that was the only athletic sport
Yeah.
besides like skateboarding. But that wasn't really.
Yeah, my grandfather and my dad and pretty much my whole family's from Ireland, so they were just like obsessed with soccer. They're like, this is
Oh hell yeah!
now, and it was. So that was really my entire childhood was soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Why do you think? Like, I guess, do you feel like you became an athlete because of like your family's? Well, I mean, obviously, probably because of your family's influence. But why do you think you didn't do art back then?
It just wasn't even a consideration. Like, no one in my family was like big into art. It was just we're just a sports family, and the kids I hung out with because I was doing sports were all sports kids.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't part of my community growing up.
Honestly, saying I feel like because my parents, like my dad's a welder and my mom's a nurse, and we grew up in Rockland, and my parents are both like super fucking big hockey fans. So I feel like it was a similar thing for me, where I feel like a lot of people assume that like an artist's parents are like these like really like culture, like worldly, like professors, and like oh yeah, like my dad is like a historian or something. But like when you grow up on like the South Shore in Boston or something, it's like your dad is like probably a carpenter.
Yes.
Like Theo's dad.
Yeah.
So that is a kind of I've met quite a few people who got into art later, and I wonder now if that is like, could that have to do with like kind of working class families are maybe more likely to raise athletes and other craftsmen.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the South Shore isn't the whole culture isn't geared towards art. It's geared towards blue collar stuff,
building shit.
Yeah, building shit, screwing stuff in, taking screws out, and then go and play hockey at 5 a.m. Like that's just it's just like in us. Art's not really on the forefront of people's minds. At least it wasn't for me and my family. Growing up, but my dad, I think, he like draws everything from hand, like when he's building a house, and like he's very artistic, but he probably doesn't see it in that type of a way. It's very much like I build houses for a living, and I just do the drawings in order to
it's utilitarian.
Yeah,
like,
very
sketching.
very much so. But he's really like, we've had sketch offs, and I'm terrible compared to him. Like,
wow,
that's
he
fun.
can just look at something and draw it, and he's like, that was easy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
What do you think for you was the bridge between like that kind of mentality and then going into like painting and art? Like, what drew you initially to watch the documentary about Francis Bacon? Or to go
I was just baked, and I was down a YouTube rabbit hole. I think that was really pretty much it.
And you just said, "Who the fuck is Francis Bacon? What's that purple guy? Is it like the Pope or something?" Like,
it like opened up with whatever the 3 paintings he has of the really strange creature.
Okay, I'm not familiar. Interesting.
Yeah, they're spooky. They're creepy. For sure. And that's what it started with. And I was like, oh, okay, that's like scary and cool.
Yeah.
And I just watched the whole thing through, and I don't even know. His life definitely doesn't. I can't relate to any aspect of his life really. I just found his work interesting.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I was like, God, would it be cool to, paint, just make something like that. I don't really know what drew me to the Francis Bacon documentary besides some sort of
YouTube suggestion.
Yeah,
video.
YouTube suggestion, subconscious calling to it. I have no idea.
Sometimes that's all you need, honestly.
Right.
I'm happy it happened.
Yeah.
Maybe YouTube is like some kind of like psy-op to try to create like more
artists.
I'm just kidding.
The algorithm is bringing us together.
Right, yeah. Holy shit, dude.
So what kind of art do you make right now? Like, if somebody were to never have seen your portfolio or wanted to know more about the stuff that you make, how would you describe it?
Yeah, this is something I've struggled with for 2.5 years, describing my work.
It's a hard question. I'm pitching you a hard one right now.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's a great question because people do ask me this all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like a new answer every single time.
Yeah.
They're like, what's your artist statement? What's your bio? When you're sending stuff off, and it's like, well,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's abstract expressionism, definitely. That's what the genre would fall under. I think in an earlier episode, you guys talked about, like, process art, and it's very much process-based. Like, we can go down into the studio after, but...
oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, my dad's a carpenter, so there's a whole lot of shit in that garage that I try to use and incorporate as much as possible. But yeah, it's really just like I try to go in with just a clear blank head and just fucking do it. And, you know, hope if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. It's not really a big deal to me in that sense, but I just enjoy it, and it's just a release for me. There is a competitive side to me too, which is like counterintuitive to art in a way, but also, you know, growing up with sports, I was always competitive, and so now that I'm taking painting and art seriously, it gets competitive too. Not even with other people, because I don't know anyone in the art community.
Competing with yourself.
It's just competing with myself.
I really relate to your setup here, because the studio that I'm currently in, which is my original first studio, is in the loft above my dad's metal shop. And the first materials I was using were just shit that I was like picking up from his like automotive paint or like spray paint or like random. Like I've been working with a lot of spray foam installation recently, like with sculptures and shit. And but like construction equipment or materials.
I mean, whatever I can find in there and sort of incorporate it, like these ones above here, which were like over the course of like 3 months, like every once in a while I would just do one of these, and it's just a saw. It's just a saw dipped in paint, and then I would literally they took 30 seconds to do.
That's really cool.
But yeah, it was I don't know, I can't even explain it any further. But
no, it's super cool work. They're almost, they kind of remind, what are they called? Like the Rorschach tests, like ink blot things, where they're very black and white and contrasty.
I was going to say, I've seen some photos that were developed with salt water, and they had this kind of dissolved like abstraction thing, and they looked like that. I don't know anything about film development, but I saw them.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that's
sick. Interesting.
Yeah,
cool.
Pretty neat.
Yeah,
but yeah, they look like that. That's really neat. I would never have known that was from a saw. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like a blade?
I can kind of see it on the second one from the left.
Yeah. The second one from the left is like very, like sporadically, there's like a few over here. Like that's clearly a saw. Those ones are all very, pretty much saw looking.
Yeah.
A problem that I've seen some people, or heard a lot of people talk about with their artwork, is they sometimes feel like they're like over painting and like over blending, and they're like driving this, like you reach this like perfect point in a piece, and then you
just fuck it up.
And you fuck it up because you added a bunch of more shit, and you're like, fuck, man, I wish I could just hit like, Command Z this like image. But like, do you find that with
white
like
paint?
Right? Oh yeah, just prime it, right? But like, do you find like there's an artistry or like some kind of intuition you're using to know when to stop with the abstract works that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just my eye and intuition.
It's just really like it just looks fucking nice.
I try not to overthink anything because, I mean, I've never considered myself an artist up until 2.5 years ago. I don't think I'm overly critical of my work yet, and maybe that's something down the line I will be. But right now I'm enjoying not being and just kind of like free form, free flow.
That sounds like a state of mind that a lot of people would want, like would try to be in.
Yeah,
like would aspire to have.
Well, there's so much bullshit in regular life.
Yeah,
you know, like I've worked a 9 to 5 since I was out of college, and so it's an escape. You know, it's not. I'm not trying to take it. I'm taking it seriously, but not overly seriously. You know, like I'm trying to enjoy what I'm making. And not just be too critical at the end. And if people end up liking it, well, then that's a total bonus. And, yeah.
Well, it's a good thing, because I feel like something that gets lost sometimes with doing art as your like main thing and as a career path is that the reason you want to do that instead of doing a 9 to 5, which is easier, is because you like it and because you're enjoying what you're doing, and it's preferable to the 9 to 5, when you could just have this job that's laid out for you and just punch in and punch out and do the rest of your life. But if you're choosing not to, you should still be liking what you've chosen to do instead.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. And even art after work and all that is, as I'm sure you guys know, it can be tedious. Sometimes you have to push yourself. Sometimes you don't. I don't like to push myself, but I've been learning recently that it's sometimes extremely beneficial too. Yeah. And after you do something, it's you feel better. So.
Yeah.
Do you think you learned that from being an athlete? Like that point where it's like that feeling where it would be nicer to just not make art and to just like lay down and watch TV or something, which I do all the time. I opt to just fucking chill out instead all the time. But like
all the time.
But that like kind of discipline. Like,
that's what I was doing before you guys showed up.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome.
Deep into Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah, and you have to do that sometimes, but I do think that feeling of actually pushing through that tediousness and that like kind of like fatigue mentally really can make good shit come out. And I think for our listeners, definitely there's probably a lot of people that don't feel like they can do that, or they feel like maybe their like mental state is like oppressing them to the point where like they're just not even making anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you ever find yourself dealing with that kind of like cloud?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely gone periods like, a month, 2 months without doing anything at all.
Yeah.
And inside of me, it's crushing. But I just feel like externally I can't do anything about it. It's just I'm in this place and, instead of going down there, it's literally 10 steps to go down and do something in my studio, and I'll remain on that couch doing absolutely nothing.
I feel that.
It's I hate it. Like, I'm in the moment realizing like, oh God, I'm absolutely wasting time right now. Which, again, you do need that. But, yeah, I mean, in the moment I realize when I'm not maybe doing what I should be doing or whatever. Yeah, that can be definitely challenging. I don't have a way of getting through it.
Right, just like
I have no answers to how you overcome it, but it's there. It's definitely there.
Interesting.
I don't have any answers for that.
What would you call that? The doldrums?
Yeah.
Well, I guess like maybe it's even like a podcast cliche at this point, but you always hear people say on podcasts and shit like, yeah, man, like when you compare like something intellectual with like athletics or something, there's like this, you know what I mean? You hear people say that kind of shit on podcasts so much.
We do that a lot.
I probably said things like that. But like, and I stand by those kinds of things where it's like, if you know how to take care of your body or condition yourself or learn like how to get good at an athletic endeavor, it I feel like teaches you how to teach yourself something. You know what I mean? For
sure. I think, and I do think I had that ability probably halfway through college. I think I kind of lost that ability. And then honestly, until very recently, I think maybe I've regained that sort of control over things. Yeah, like there's a long stretch, especially when I got out of college and started working for a living. Like, I found that I just kind of lost control of me, pretty much. And sometimes that can be really hard to regain, Like, you don't even realize maybe sometimes you're losing that control over... I mean, I won't go into too many details of it, but I just went through a lot of stuff when I got out of college and started my job and stuff, and like I said, I just kind of lost control of myself, like body-wise, lifestyle-wise, and painting definitely helped me with my like mental health a lot, but that's like I have to be conscious of that like all the time, because I'm just the type of person who it's very easy for me to lose control of my actions, my choices. Like I'm just
me too.
Like some people love me for it and others don't like me for it, and
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on it, and like I said, recently it's been really good. So
Nice.
No, I feel that.
progress.
Yeah, like I feel like I definitely have like an addictive personality that's like really innate, where it's like from the time I was like a kid, like first memories, like I feel like a lot of the original things or ways of thinking were like doing something like throwing myself into, like, it's like I can't control the fact that I'm throwing myself into things full fucking tilt.
Yeah.
But the strength is like, or the hard part, or the part that requires like kind of restraint and strength sometimes
Like
is
pulling out of it again.
or just opting into what I'm throwing myself into.
Oh, interesting.
It's like the idea that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing like if you're gonna fucking throw yourself headfirst into learning how to play piano, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Even if you're like ditching your friends to go do it.
Yeah.
Like that's good.
Yeah.
Doing that with like cocaine or like or I don't know, Minecraft
Do both
or
and
something.
Be a badass piano player.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, so maybe there is like
There's
a little
balance,
middle
you know?
ground there. But like we talked about this recently. There's healthy, like I'm struggling to find a good word for it, but there's like appropriate and inappropriate like wastes of time or time deposits.
Oh, we did talk about that.
Yeah, like
I forget what we
or
were
like
talking
ways of converting it.
Yeah, I mean, what you said there, like knowing what you're getting addicted to, or knowing what
Right,
you're
yeah.
throwing yourself into, instead of just throwing yourself into it,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
resonates for sure. Because I definitely go in with a blindfold sometimes, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this will be great, and then I actually have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you realize that halfway through, and you're like, oh man, So, yeah, definitely can relate to that for sure.
Right.
It's funny too, though, because if you know that about yourself and you're aware of it, that can be a strength.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because something that, I mean, we've reiterated this to the point where it's like a dead point at this point, but I'm going to do it again. But to be an artist and to be marketing yourself, promoting your work, writing about your work, applying for grants, doing submissions, having studio time, fucking eating also.
Yeah,
Breathing.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Sleeping sometimes,
Maybe.
like having friends, maybe, like juggling
fit it
all
in.
of that is, you have to be a really intense person to do that.
Yeah.
That's
the
true.
thing is knowing where to draw the lines and sectioning off percentages of your time so that you're not doing only painting and then not photographing it and then it all falls apart into storage, or like only hanging out with friends and talking about painting instead of actually doing it, or only marketing when you don't really have a portfolio. Like you have to put yourself everywhere at the same time.
Yeah. I found, like, I had an idea of what an artist was, and it was Francis Bacon. It's chaos, it's crazy, it's this, like, magic,
Yeah.
whatever. It's not, for me anyway. It's regimented in a lot of ways. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're online for an hour or two searching for gigs to put your work in. You're photographing, like you said. You're doing marketing, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So you're not just like in a room painting a picture the whole time. And that's something I didn't think about.
Yeah.
Like when I went into painting, that was very much me going in blind and I just want to do this. And then halfway through, you realize, oh, if I want to take this any sort of seriously, there's a bunch of other things I have to do that I may not want to do, but I'm trying to do them because my whole goal is to not work a 9 to 5. Obviously,
Yeah.
Like if I could spend my week making art and doing everything that comes with it, that would be an ideal life.
Yeah.
But it's not the world that exists. So, yeah, I mean that's the whole end goal for me.
And that's like an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
That you're applying to the art. Now, something that I think that's a really cool thread to go down, though, because I feel like that is a lot of people's perception of what it is to be an artist, is to be fucking wild and crazy and this and that. And it's like, you even think, like, I grew up hearing from my parents who were like, 80s kids basically, and their heroes are like classic rock people and shit.
Yeah.
And you think about the stories of all the classic rock artists, and they're like, fucking cocaine, drinking, world tours and shit. And it's like, they did that and we're all fucked up people, but they also, somebody had to be doing a fucking ridiculous amount of administrative work.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Aerosmith wouldn't have existed at all unless some fucking like, there's definitely some group of people or person that made that a business and made it successful. I don't know who it is because I don't know anything about them. But, like, it's like, even Francis Bacon, I think he did have some success while he was alive. Like, I don't think he was, like, a post-mortem success. Like, I think that he hung shows and, like, did some significant shit. So even he, like, had some business information, or maybe he had friends that did, but
I feel like Van Gogh is an example people use a lot too.
Yeah, who had zero.
And I hear that all the time at the museum, and people really romanticizing that about, like, he was insane and just painted all the time, and he was a drunk and would go out and just paint what he saw, and he was just connected to his heart. And it's like, he also died in, like, a really ambiguous, tragic accident. His brother was a rich curator. He had, like, the golden connection. So, kind of important detail.
Yeah, and I guess the question I would have for you too is, like, if you get, like, really, like, two and a half years ago, being like, all right, like, I fucking love what I'm doing right now. Like, this feels awesome to be making shit. Sorry, I, like, keep getting my but I'm curious how you started on the path of trying to, because, like, as Theo told me earlier, that you're also in the arts lending program for FPAC, for 4-Point Art Community.
Shout out FPAC.
Yeah, so you're into that. You're talking about applying to these things. Like, I feel like that in terms of administrative stuff and business with art is, like, higher level than somebody who wants to just be a studio artist. There's probably people listening who might not even know what, like, they're like, what the fuck is what even is an art gig? Yeah, like, what the fuck? What even? I don't know. Anyways, but I'm curious.
I still don't even know. So
I'm just curious about that jump, though, because, like, you're making, like, nice stuff. You feel good about it, and you love what you're doing. Like, where did that transition happen into, like, getting into FPAC? And
a lot of that is, like, within, like, a year or so. Like, I really started kind of going for that, and a lot of that is just friends kind of pushing me to do it because they said they like my stuff, and it's also just ego-driven too. Like, I enjoy my stuff, and like I said, I enjoyed the process so much that I would eventually want that to be my full-time thing. So how do you do that? Try to promote your stuff, I guess, as best you can. And I've found some success, but, like, not a lot. Not a lot of success. I work in Boston on Wednesdays, and I'll, like, go in early and just, like, go around SOA and, like, just, like, go into the galleries and be like, hi, like,
what's up?
It's me again. Like, what's going on? And, most of them, like, I'll show them my stuff, and it's like, oh, this is amazing, this is great, like, all that stuff, and then, it's the last you hear about it. Which is totally fine. Like, I'll keep going. I'm not afraid of rejection or people's opinions, really. Well, that's not true. I am afraid of people's opinions, for sure. But, the switch, I think it was really just a mixture of my friends really pumping me up and me being sort of... I'm sort of, like, naturally confident. I hate how that sounds, but, like, I trust myself and what I do, and I like my work. Yeah. So I was like, fuck it, like, why not go for this if I really enjoy it and want to make it a thing?
That's really important too, because something that we are like an important detail in your story too, because something that we've thought about before is, like, the only people that will ever want to be on our podcast are people that would be on podcasts. Yeah. Right? Like, not like like, that's a really specific type of personality of people who would be confident enough to be like, fuck it, I'll just say whatever I want. Yeah. These people that I don't even know are about to just record me in my house. And I'm going to just say whatever the fuck comes to mind.
And I'm sure you guys saw my DMs and were like, Jesus Christ, like, like, give it a rest. But, like, that's I don't want to say that's the type of shit I do, but, like, I'm gonna push for myself because no one else is going to do that besides me. No one else cares enough to promote or put any time into me besides myself. So if I can't trust myself to do that kind of stuff, then it's just dead in the water from the get-go. So you just have to work hard, like, and that's such a easy thing to say, and I don't work hard all the time. But it really does require that to get any sort of progress because I don't know why, but it does.
Well, another thing, too, that's important to remember, I'm saying this almost to the person listening, too, is that if you do apply for art gigs or grants or, like, shows or something and you don't hear back, the only thing that's going to happen is you're in the same position you were. Like, you're not going to lose anything. No one's going to come up and hit you.
Right. Yeah, something that I've thought about before is, like, I've done a lot of music in the past, too. It's, like, another one of my passions. But, you know, performing and stuff, I have, like, publicly embarrassed myself and failed so many fucking times. Like, I have, like, done egregiously bad performances, like, on in front of, like, not like fucking monster crowds, but like it's like pretty significant psychologically. More
people than you prefer.
To be like humiliated and do a horrible job in front of like 30 people.
Yeah,
like that fucking can hit you pretty hard. But something that I learned over the years is that I did that and I've done such dumb things publicly, and my life is not bad.
Yeah,
like I'm like doing fine.
Yeah,
despite that embarrassment.
Yeah,
you know, you're probably better off for it.
Yeah. Right, I completely agree, but it's like that. If like when you haven't experienced that yet, or maybe I don't know, you haven't like eaten shit or done stupid things. Like I feel like it's like incomprehensible or like unthinkable, that embarrassment and that like feeling of failure. Because like when I am taking a risk or I'm trying to talk to somebody, you know, like you're talking about walking around SOA and showing people your art, like. The possibility that person might be like, dude, like, shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Like, please, I don't want to look at what you're showing me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that could, like, the prospect of that happening, like, puts fear in my soul. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just being like, fuck, dude, like, and just waiting for that perfect moment where you can say, like, hey, you know, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. And that can prevent you from making those networking connections.
And a lot of people don't have that, feel that fuck it.
Yeah.
Saying fuck it.
Yeah. I definitely had the fuck it thing since I was young. That doesn't mean I'm not totally terrified of people hearing, viewing, whatever, and, you know, not thinking good things of it. I'm still totally scared of that. But I know, like, when I go into SOA or whatever gallery and I have the intention of, like, promoting myself, I'm like, well, I'm not, I'll like walk around and look at everything and like bide my time till I'm like ready to like go up to someone and be like, hey, like this stuff's great. Here's my website, you know, like it's not, I don't just walk in and I'm not that confident about that. Like it takes sort of like mustering the courage to do it. But I don't know. I mean, is it something you just like have? I don't know. I think you can definitely build up the confidence to do all of, you know, do whatever you want to do, perform in front of people or just go up into someone in a gallery and talk, which can sometimes be daunting in itself. Just talking to someone in a gallery.
Well, an interesting thing too that I was thinking about, we kind of touched on this a while ago, but the fact that our parents are all in the trades, or like our dads are at least, is kind of interesting because you were saying earlier that maybe like South Shore mentality is like it raises people that are more into the trades and stuff like that, but maybe they're kind of a similar thing, like that kind of diligence, that putting yourself out there to be like, I'm the one who's gonna build your porch, or I can do the tile in your bathroom, like I can do a better job than anybody else can, and XYZ is the reason why. Like it is the same skill set really, it's just a different medium, and there is the whole thing of like the art market being kind of different than something a little bit more concrete like that. But those kinds of skills maybe are actually innate in that kind of culture too, which is interesting to think about for the South Shore art scene.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like it's like a kind of rooted in just being a human being, because something that like a lot of people think an artist is supposed to be is this like really like worldly and smart fucking person dressed all interesting with weird fucking glasses, like, and they're like using big words and shit. But it's like nobody fucking likes that. Nobody likes those people. If like, I don't know, like so it's like when you are an art person or trying to be involved in the arts and you're just like a down-to-earth kind person, and you like care about people and you're like, and you know, you're supportive and you love what you do, and like those are the people everyone likes. I sort of feel like it is taking a shift towards that. Not like, I don't even know about painting and all of that. Maybe not in that world, but like in music and stuff, I just feel like people are
choosing artists that are a lot more grounded and like they can just relate to. Like they're not. They're still going for the crazy, eccentric people who maybe you can't relate to at all. But I also feel like there's just like a kind of a grassrootsy type thing where people just care a lot more about the artists they're getting involved with, want to know a lot more about them. And I guess maybe I should probably close that. If you're from like a blue collar type community, hopefully you're the type of person that people would maybe want to get behind. I don't know. My dad definitely, to what you were saying, Theo, like just watching him work from a young age, bringing me along to the job sites and doing all of that, talking to homeowners, and that probably put something inside of me that helps when I'm doing administrative type stuff or whatever it might be.
I feel like that's true. My dad owns a carpentry company, and my brother is his apprentice. Okay. So the two of them, it's like it's a very creative energy, and like there's a tenacity to it with like getting jobs, bidding jobs. Also, all the other work besides just doing the carpentry of like doing estimates, going to people's houses, talking to homeowners, being on call all the time for questions about stuff, like handling the legalities of it and shit. Like there is that kind of thing of discipline of like I have to draw plans on the weekends or like do the numbers of this job that I don't want to do when I really want to be working with my hands kind of thing. And I feel like I learned a lot from that. And I see my younger brother, like he also recently has been picking up like art and like model making and stuff like that. Cool. And his thing has been carpentry this whole time. So it's interesting. There is a lot of crossover, I think. So I have for a long time thought that they were different worlds, but I think I'm starting to think that might not be the case. I think there probably is a lot of crossover. I started working with my dad again, and totally not related at all. But I love working with him now. Yeah. Just honestly being out of any type of office is just freaking amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I worked with my dad during the pandemic for like 9 months, and I couldn't handle it. I really liked it, but it was just a lot.
It is.
It's like I can't carry shit.
Or the famous story of you shooting a nail gun through your finger.
Yeah, I did do that.
Oh, that
was pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I've seen my dad's done that a few times.
It's pretty bad. It was like all the way.
It was literally skewered through your finger, except luckily it didn't hit any like bone or anything. Yeah, so you got pretty lucky.
It went under my bone, so it's just kind of like a piercing.
It was like in the finger or in like the webbing here.
I actually have a tiny scar from it, but it was I was doing blocking on the framing of the house, so I like an idiot was holding the block, and the nail gun bounced like that and went like that and double shot, and it went under my. I love this story. I think it's so funny, but it went under my bone here and all the way through into my hand down here. But it didn't hit anything except for the skin of my hand because of how my hand was. Yeah. It just coincidentally didn't actually fuck anything up. And they just pulled it out and sent me home. And I was fine the next day. It just kind of hurt. Damn. And I was like, wow.
So it was like underneath your hand skin?
Yeah, like my hand was like this. So it went through that. I have a picture on my phone. It's gross.
Damn.
But yeah, it's been a bad time. I was like, you know what? I kind of miss having a stupid office job. Like, peace
that
out.
That would probably happen to me. And then I'll be begging to get back in the office. But hasn't yet. So
yeah, so... My little brother was pissed too. He's like, I worked for dad for like 5 years and never even gotten a cool injury. Like I dropped wood on my foot the other day and broke my toe and nobody even cared. I was like, sorry. Sucks for you.
Try harder.
I know.
Right, yeah. Holy shit, dude. What a terrible injury.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really that bad. It was just like really graphic looking. Like it looked fake.
It did.
They told me to use hand sanitizer. I got to the doctor's office too. I walk into the ER and there's a nail sticking out of my hand. And they're like, can you please put on a mask and use hand sanitizer? And I was like, are you serious?
What about
I think we're beyond the fucking sanitization.
She was like, just put it on your other hand. And I was like, okay. Sorry, that was kind of a tangent.
It's always good when you're in the ER and they say, oh, just put hand sanitizer on it. You'll be good.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Holy shit.
I just like derailed that on my bad.
No, it's all good. I don't even remember what we were talking about. You know what could be cool too, while we're still recording, is to maybe see your studio and like talk about some shit down there if you're down to do that.
Yeah, there's not much in there at the moment, but we can certainly go down there and just see the space.
Sure. If I could grab a water too, that would be amazing if they are available.
I don't.
Or even sink water.
Yeah,
totally cool.
That's all I got.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Maybe that's sink water.
I really like some of these figurative works, the faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same baby?
It's not, but it's a very similar baby, I guess.
You should do the thing,
Yeah.
the to the viewer thing.
Well, I fucking I don't
Do you
have the
describe
mental.
it to the viewer?
Sometimes, occasionally. Well, it's a
Donald Trump is a baby, pretty much.
Donald Trump is a baby. I like that it's very well painted, but there isn't any kind of outline. It kind of gives it a nice, like a really weird textural feeling to it.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like a, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, cool.
My brain's empty right now for some reason.
That was good.
Thank you.
More of a description than I've ever given to anything I've made. So
Interesting.
yeah, we can.
Oh, downstairs.
We can mosey
Cool.
down.
Wonderful.
This wall used to have like 2 big paintings on it, but they're currently in the James Library in Norwell.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, I probably didn't close that well enough. Sorry
it's all
about that.
Yeah. So
Wow, is this a big canvas piece on the ground you're working on?
yeah, it's just drying, but
This is a good setup. It smells like a painting studio.
yeah, it smells like shit.
I love it.
It smells musty and
So I guess yeah, it's like a very garage feeling. Paint everywhere, paint buckets.
Yeah.
You know, big bay doors behind us. What is your painting process like in here? Is it fucking chaotic and?
it's pretty chaotic. It took a while to convince my dad that I was gonna like stay with this, like stay painting, and for me to occupy this space for as long as I have.
Right. Was he kind of like, what the fuck is going on
yeah,
in
he's
my
like,
garage?
Well, I kind of need that. And I was like, well, this is just getting me through right now. So if you could just let
Be
me
cool,
have
please.
it.
That was
yeah.
a fucking awesome setup.
Yeah. And then over here is, I make all the frames and everything. 'Cause
Oh, wow.
I do sporadic with my sizes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
I
so
make all the frames over there.
Are most of the ones that we're hanging up upstairs, are those on wood or are those on canvas?
They're on canvas.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep. They're all on canvas.
Mm.
Yep.
Cool.
This
Yeah.
is where it goes down.
So you said you had some paintings in the library in Norwell?
Yeah.
That's a pretty. So how did you did you just hit up the?
So they were doing a juried show type thing.
Okay,
and I
cool.
found it online. And
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I love that.
just one of those. That's how I've all of anything I've ever put anywhere is all just me browsing online and
Yeah.
giving these places $45 to hopefully put something in there.
Right, that submission fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play.
Damn. I like this one that's on the easel. Is it a figurative work?
Yeah, and not done yet. I don't really
It
know.
looks nice.
Yeah.
I really like the colors happening at the bottom here. It's pretty like a weird
Thanks.
gradient happening there.
I like these with text too. Is that pastel?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, this was very like a cathartic type thing. Just
Yeah.
something happened in my personal life, and it was just like,
Yeah.
that type of thing. But
So to paint the picture a little bit, like in your environment when you're here alone, like do you like is it like you like kick back and smoke and you're on the couch and there's nice music playing, or is it like fucking throwing shit and loud fucking crazy like
it's like both. It's
Little bit,
very
it depends on the vibe.
Mood dependent.
Gotcha.
Definitely music. You know.
What's
throw on
your
some
go-to
tunes.
music?
Shit.
Hey, what's the vibe?
Just Mozart and Beethoven mainly. No, I can't even
Yeah.
come up with something
Sorry.
off the
No,
top
I know
of my
them.
head. It's not Mumford and Sons. That's the best I can give you.
Gotcha. Isn't it so weird how difficult of a question that is?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
I
is.
respond the exact same way you just did when
Yeah.
people
What
ask
the
me things
fuck I
like that.
listen to?
Well, to be honest, I'm still like pretty nervous about this whole thing. So I'm just like my
Yeah.
brain is still like
Yeah.
scattered a little bit. Maybe I could come up with something.
Do you find your friend group kind of has really leaned into your artist identity? Like, are they other artists that you're hanging out with and chilling with?
So one of my best friends, his name's Sam Boyles.
Mm-hmm.
Quick plug. His music is not art. He just released. Actually, we recorded the entire album right here.
Did you produce it? You were
We produced
engineering
it
it
together. Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
We produced together right up there. So
Cool.
everything was done in this space.
That's awesome.
And I did the cover shot, did some music videos. Anyways, I'm very close with him, so I try to spend as much time as I can because he's like similar vibe. Like we're both trying to really go for art.
Yeah.
And I don't have too many friends who are like that. But he lives in Watertown, so that can kind of be a difficult...
it's a bit of a trek up the pike.
Bit of a trek. My other friends, like, no one is really into art like that, and I don't think my relationship or how they view me has even changed at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if... I think they see me as someone who's into art. I don't even know if they would be like, yeah, he's an artist.
Yeah.
You know? That type of thing.
I'm curious too. So when you were in college, did you study like music engineering or something, or like what the hell did you even go to school for?
No, yeah, good question. What did I go to school for? Because it feels like I went to school for public health. Actually.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I worked at the town of Plymouth as the public health agent, and then I worked at the town of Kingston as the public health agent. And
office jobs, like you mentioned.
Office jobs.
Gotcha.
Although I was out of the office a lot because I had to do... I'm not going to get into that because it's really not interesting.
Gotcha.
But yeah, public health was my major.
Was the pandemic like really fucked up for you?
Yeah, especially so I worked in Plymouth for like a year and a half, and then I moved to Kingston because they offered me a job. And that was a horrible experience.
Yeah.
So I lasted about 4 months there. We had one like town hall event where they were talking about putting in a mask mandate. And
was this early in the pandemic?
Not even. This was like 5-6 months ago. Really. This was yeah. And the mask mandate wasn't even like it was for all businesses. It was like if you come into the town hall, please, you have to wear a mask.
And it was like a heated debate.
Oh, I got called what did the guy say? I was walking down the stairs after it ended, and this like big guy like looked at me. He's like, "It's nice to know what the new face of socialism looks like in Kingston."
Holy shit!
And
dude.
I was like, "Okay,
bye."
Yeah. So the public, and I don't want to like Kingston's cool. Kingston's got a lot of good people.
We love Kingston.
A lot of good people, but also some crazies.
Yeah. So it's Plymouth.
Which is it's a common thread in the South Shore.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of hardcore Republican types.
Anti-science kind of attitudes.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that you did that kind of work a lot. Did you have to address the public like often? Like in your like as a public health agent?
It was actually very intense. So we had 2 meetings a month, and I would have like the health agent's report, and I would also participate in the meetings. Those were all open to the public, televised. I worked for a board of health, and they're all 60-year-old plus people who have a background as a doctor or so like really educated. They could run circles around me. So I was just like trying to keep up pretty much. But the interview process was super intense. Like it was publicly televised, my interview.
Wow.
And they bring you in with like the town administrator and all these other people. There was members of the public there. So it's just like the most intense interview I've ever gone through. And I felt like I wanted to cry after, but somehow I got the job. But
yeah. That sounds really, really stressful.
It was. The job itself ended up being really stressful, and that's part of the reason I left is because I simply don't care enough about this job to continue.
Continue being the face of socialism.
Correct.
In Kingston.
Yeah. Although
that sounds tough.
That's kind of a flex. I kind of like that being my thing. In Kingston, to be honest with you. But so I got out of there, and then I started another job in Plymouth, and then they let me go because they just didn't need me. And now I am unemployed and working for my dad and valeting part-time. So
nice. Well, it sounds like you have like 4 jobs.
Yeah.
And you're an artist.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff going on. But yeah, I've actually never been in a better place. So it's blessing in disguise, all of that happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, it's an interesting thing to actually say because like you're very much post-college. You got your degree and then got an official, real nice job in the thing that you majored in.
Mm-hmm. Accomplishment in itself,
which is a feat, and that's fucking awesome. But I feel like there's so many people right now who are like going to college or thinking about going, and they're like studying something maybe their parents want them to study, and they're like, fuck man, like I really don't want to do this. I don't fucking care, but I'm doing this because I know that it's the right thing to do, and I know that I'll have a good job when I leave.
Right.
You know?
And there's nothing wrong with that, because it is kind of how the world works to a certain extent.
Like, you got to do something.
You got to do something. I think most people are probably going through the motions in college, not knowing what they're really doing.
Yeah.
And that was me, you know. I was going for something. I was going for exercise science. I was big into CrossFit, actually, at the time, and like that whole thing. So it's like, okay, yeah, like I'll become something to do with kinesiology or whatever. Couldn't pass anatomy, just for the life of me.
Yeah.
And so I moved over to public health because a lot of my stuff transferred over. And so it wasn't like I really wanted to do it. It was just like, oh, you're running out of time and you need to graduate relatively on time.
Yeah.
You don't have money to keep this up. So, I just graduated with a public health degree and then went into it and learned that it just isn't really for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what is for me, but it's not that. So, one off the list, I guess, of jobs I don't like. But yeah, this is actually, like, I like this phrase too, or it means a lot to me, just because very recently someone kind of called me out on basically just not having control of myself, like just, you know, smoking cigarettes all the time. It is tough. Not eating right, and those are like, you know, like basic stuff, you know, you should do, but it just wasn't my focus at all. And then someone basically said, you're like half, in a not so nice way, really. It was like, you know, you're half the person that I remember you as.
Whoa.
And at the time I was like, wow, that's like really, really harsh. And it does not feel good. And then, like, I kind of, like, just thought about it, and I was like, but it's 100% true. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to shit on myself, you know, because I like myself, but it's also, I definitely did let myself go.
Yeah.
So, just trying to regain some control of my life. It's just been a big thing. So, it's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Your words cut so deep, and maybe it's exactly what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's powerful.
It was just the fact that it came from someone who just means so much to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I knew everything, you know, she was saying.
Yeah.
But it's really tough to just admit fully to yourself that you've just gone awry.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it, you know, it happens, but getting yourself on track is a lot harder to do, and that's kind of where I am right now.
Yeah, and cigarettes are fucking so difficult too because they feel so good to smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I smoked for a long time. I quit, thank God, but it was like that I found out was like, because I ended up I had a thyroid condition for years, and I still kind of do, but as a result of that, long story short, I also you get problems with your eyes, I guess, when you have a thyroid problem and you smoke cigarettes in my specific condition. And they literally told me that if I continue to smoke, then eventually my optic nerve could swell behind my eye and make me fucking lose my vision. Okay. Which I was literally having fucking night terrors about, waking up, like, literally, like, I'm gonna, like, what am I gonna do if that happens? Am I gonna jump off a bridge and fucking die? Like, what am I gonna do? And that literally wasn't really enough. Like, I continued to smoke for fucking years after learning that information.
It's a brutal thing. Like, you're gonna go fucking blind if you don't stop. You're like, okay.
Right. That's literally, and it took years after that, and then I was vaping forever. So, and that was like, in a harm reduction sense, it was less bad. But eventually I had to stop doing that too. But cigarettes still smell good to me though. So it's like, it is like a satanic addiction. Like, it is fucking
truly. And luckily right now I'm a lot better about it, but they're horrible for you. Yeah. Kids, don't do cigarettes.
Don't smoke.
Yeah, don't smoke at all. It's really not worth it.
Yeah, holy shit. If you guys want, we can go back up there if we're like older, like I don't know.
Yeah, I just wanted.
So are these some sculptures? Are these sculptures or are these paint
No,
cups?
those are. I just dumped paint in them.
The way they're on this interesting pedestal here, it looks like you're setting them up to photograph them.
I mean, it's yours now. That's your piece.
$30.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, no.
It looks nice. It looks like a... Anyway, but yeah. No, dude, this painting setup is like really not like nostalgic to me, but just very because
It's
this
like really reminiscent of
the cigarette and garage smell is exactly how the studio that I worked in for years smelled.
Yeah.
Like identical to this smell. So this is pretty
It still
cool.
smells like this and that. It still smells
Yeah,
like
my
this in
dad
the barn.
smokes cigars
Oh,
like
so
a
does mine.
lot, so it does smell like
Yeah.
tobacco. A little bit different than cigarettes, but similar smell.
Yours does too. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm
it's the same
trying to-
smell.
Oh, you said he smokes cigars?
He smokes cigars
Gotcha.
like heavy. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to like get him to like father son. Like I'm stopping cigarettes, you stop cigars.
He's like, no.
He's not.
He's like, they're not as bad.
Yeah, so they are.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we can go upstairs. That's
Sure.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I honestly had no idea what to expect going into this interview. Obviously, I never do really have any idea what's going to happen, but
Yeah, I just think this is an amazing thing you guys do.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Many people in the art community, Boston, Greater Boston, South Shore. So, I listen to your guys' podcast, and it's,
thank you.
It's enlightening.
Thanks, that's so cool.
I just feel somewhat informed on what's going on around me. So,
Honestly, that's a really, really great review because that's the exact type of thing that I feel like we would ideally be giving people the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
And ourselves.
that would be great.
And you guys are so
good.
candid, which I really love. Like, I hope you never lose that style on
Hey,
the
thank
podcast
you.
because
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
it's invaluable in can be a very fake world. So
Yeah.
it's nice
Shit,
to
thank
hear
you.
just like candid discussion.
Dude,
We were just talking in the car about that like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we're going to start like applying for grants and getting more serious about this and like making it like a real move, like should we delete some of the episodes we were stupid? And Brian was like, fuck no. No.
Yeah, because
It's part of
the
it.
thing is, it's like because even if we did really like clean up our act and try to get really, really shiny and
It would be
professional,
so stupid.
Well, it's like even if we did, and even if we really sold it, like eventually who we actually are would come out, and that isn't bad who we are, but. If somebody signs up for something really polished and sterile and clean and stuff, and then even if we continued to give that to people, when it didn't feel true to us, we would feel, how would that be that much different than an office job?
Yeah, actually.
If we weren't who we were and we just...
There'd be no fucking way we could do this weekly too if we couldn't speak candidly.
Yeah, if we... right.
Like,
Yeah,
That'd be tricky.
yeah.
right. Even like not swearing or something, which isn't like I want to fucking swear. Like not like in some stupid way like that, but it's just like...
do the podcast if I can't say fuck? Yeah, no.
For real though. It's a real issue.
Yeah, no,
I think the
absolutely.
way you guys are doing it is exactly how it should be done.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And if someone will come along and that's what they'll appreciate about it, they're
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
appreciate the production of it or your intro or any like nothing against. I just use that as you guys have a sick intro. But just, it's the people. It's the people doing the thing and who those people are. And you guys come across as relatable and honest. And, it's cool. So
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you so much.
We try. Did I tell you? I think I did tell you about this, but I was at work the other day, and one of my coworkers, who's never met them, we went to should I say where I work?
You never have, and we decided that you weren't gonna.
Well, I already said one of them, so fuck it.
That's different.
Not,
That's a
not
public
specifically
position.
where.
Anyway, whatever. Go
All right.
ahead.
Well, I work at an art museum now.
Okay.
And we got to do a gallery tour with one of the curators so we could sell tickets to it, which was fucking awesome. I forgot about it and got there like 45 minutes late, which was horrible and embarrassing. But we were there, and I was asking one of my coworkers after like what the beginning of the tour was like and what I missed, and they were like, "It was really sick. Brian would love it." And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, how do you know that?" And he didn't react. And then I remembered he told me that he listened to the podcast. And I was like, because the thing is, I was leaving the exhibit and I was like, this is sick. Brian would love this. Like, I should tell Brian to come to this exhibit. And then I asked him about it and he was like, yeah, Brian would love this. And I was like, bro.
That's so funny.
Wait to read your mind. It's one or the other.
He's like, has like, yeah, remote telepathy.
Yeah.
Or something.
But it got so weird because I looked at him like this and he looked at me like he said something wrong. And then somebody else started talking to us and like completely changed the subject. So we never cleared the air on that.
No, that's funny.
Like, wicked weird.
How do you even know him?
You know what's funny is like it feels so good to actually come to terms with that and not care about that, because there was a time where I used to like feel like I discouraged people from interacting with the things that I did publicly because I felt like I reacted weird when somebody knew about it. And it's like, why the fuck would you ever react weird to that?
Yeah.
Like if somebody was supporting you.
Probably more awkward for the person who said something than for you.
Yeah, because you just gotta be like, hell yeah, that's sick.
Well, it's cool too because it's nice to get feedback from people when... Because, like, I feel like when we first started the project, when people would say things like, oh, I think you guys are really cool, like, we should hang out or something. Like, I reacted to that, like, a random person in my DMs was saying that, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, go away. That's weird. But with this project, like...
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how you say it. But, like, at this point, like, when people say that, I mean, there's still sometimes, like, a weirdo. But those people actually know something about me. Like, it's not just... a random person. It's like, I like your profile pic, we should be friends.
Right.
It's like they've heard me talk for like 40 hours.
Right, because if you
I wouldn't say public figure, but
yeah,
I'm in public.
you're out there.
that is an interesting thing to think about too, even as an artist, is that like when you're putting something out there, whether I don't know, whatever the fuck it is, even if you're just like, I know a lot of people who are not public figure-y people or not promoting something, but they post their own poetry online all the time.
Yeah.
Even though they're not like, check out my chapbook. They're like, and it's like because they're offering some part of themselves all the time, it's like, fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. God damn it.
It's a brave thing to do, though.
But I guess what I'm saying is that like try to like, that's a person almost putting connection out there, like throwing a line out.
Which is
and
cool.
It's like to hit that person up, who we all three of us would be that type of person as artists. It's like if we weren't putting anything like that online at all and somebody hit you up like that would be maybe weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, I feel like
we're throwing,
It's a compliment, really.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I have looked into what you do, I like your work, and I want to talk to you more. So I need to not be a dick about that.
It takes some getting used to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're not used to getting... Well, maybe you are, I don't know.
I'm not.
Like, getting a bunch of DMs like, oh, I love your stuff, like, can I be on your podcast?
Yeah.
Or let's hang out. Like, weird.
Yeah.
You know, that takes some adjusting, I would assume.
Yeah.
I have no idea because I don't get those messages.
Well, we don't get that many. So it's not like people are blowing me up all the time trying to be friends. But, yeah. And I feel like it's also funny, too, because I thought that I've been doing that for a long time by making art and posting that. And, like, I've been postingly publishing art and, like, zines and stuff since I was, like, 16. And, like, doing shows and stuff, like, after that, but whatever. And I went to school for art. Like, I've been in the arts community, worked at the museum on and off. Like, it's not like I'm not there, but a lot of my stuff is vague. Like, it's not so specific. It's not like you're actually talking to me and I'm explaining the way that I feel about stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a piece that could be interpreted however. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. That's fine. But like if someone sees something that's really vague like that and they're like, we would be best friends, it's like, it's fucking weird. Like, how do you know that? You're just projecting that onto what I made. But there is like this person who never met you legitimately knew that you would like that show and was right.
That's pretty sick.
You know? And he's a really cool guy. I don't want to talk shit about Chris. He's probably going to hear this, but...
No, that's awesome. Shouts out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll say, like, your work on Instagram or something is maybe not, like... Maybe people are projecting what they think they know about you from your work. But to me, anyway, the podcast is totally different because it's so much more... You're getting directly, like, not who exactly you guys are, but they're getting an idea of like the type of people you are anyway. So it's like a little more specific than perhaps even your art.
Yeah, which is a cool thing, and that's another reason why I like having guests on or like people like you, like actually getting to talk to somebody and have that one-on-one. Like that was the initial thesis, so I shouldn't be surprised that that's happening with us too.
Yeah, but somebody once gave me like a huge like dose of reality one time. not in like a mean way, and I don't even think she knew she did this. But I was at a show one time that I was playing, and it wasn't obviously not like a big thing. It's 30 people or something, local show, and I know everybody there. Most of them are my friends. And whatever, and I remember making a comment like, oh man, I'm like so fucking anxious, like I can't talk to I just like don't want to talk to anybody or something, just like some social anxiety thing. And she looked at me and she was like, everybody here already knows you, like why are you, what the fuck are you anxious about? And I was just like, because like I just realized how much yeah, and it's not like, oh, they're like your fans or something, because it's not like that at all, because it's just me fucking not like, I'm not like, anyway, it's just like people that I literally just am friends with or know at the shows.
Yeah.
So it's like, what am I fucking afraid of? Because and it's like, as somebody going to events like that, it's like where I have made myself the center of attention by participating in the organization of a local fucking show that I put my name on. It's just like, when was the last time I went to anything where I didn't know anybody and I wasn't a self-appointed important person? And it's just like, am I seriously anxious right now? Like, am I even like entitled to this feeling? Like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a little harsh, but
even with people or even like, for me anyway, like my friends, when I'm putting stuff out there, it's still nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
If even so, it might be more nerve-wracking because they know me so well, and maybe they believe in what I do. Like, it's actually someone who believes in what I do, as opposed to someone who doesn't know me at all. So to let them down, in my own head, let them down, or just not meet expectations is sometimes more frightening.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Than that, but
the thing about that too that I think is, it's so easy to say to someone else, but thinking about this in my own context, like I completely resonate with that. But have you ever been to an art show, like even in a museum, somebody completely removed that you're never going to know who even the artist is unless you Google them and like really look into them, that you saw a piece of art that sucked so bad that you were like crestfallen or like really upset with that person, or had any kind of feeling like you think someone's going to feel about you in that setting? Because the worst thing that happens, you're like, oh, and then you walk away. Like, there is no worst case scenario.
It's true. Yeah, I've never looked at something and been like, God, this is so bad. Who did this? I'm gonna DM them. Like, no,
this person sucks.
It's just like, oh, don't really love it. Let's move on. At least me. Anyway. Yeah. I don't really think too much about the stuff that I don't like.
Yeah.
And as somebody, like, if you are already in a position where this person in like consuming your artwork or engaging with it, if they're at your show, they probably already know who you are. They're probably your friend, or they probably already like what you do, which means that they're, for me at least, when an artist, like a musician, for example, puts out an album that is not as good as maybe a previous one that I liked, I don't care. I still like the artist.
Yeah.
Like, even if I listen to an older album more than a newer one, or something, or even like a podcast you listen to. There's a lot of podcasts I listen to where they'll just drop one and I listen to like 20 minutes of it and I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
And then I catch the next one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change the way I think of that person at all.
Yeah.
But I think there's this sudden death thing with my stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you fuck up one time. You do one stupid thing.
You're
lose
a
fucking idiot.
It's over.
None of your friends are going to talk to you ever again, you stupid idiot.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But in reality, my friends wouldn't even say boo anyways. If it did suck.
They'd be like, fuck yeah.
Awesome. I'd be like, oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, it really doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And nothing is the end of the world. So once you come to terms with that, I mean, just do whatever, I guess. Put it all out there. I don't know.
The only career-ending move is death.
That's a fucking statement right there. Have you said that to me before?
I did say that. I was joking, though, when I said it.
Was you serious this time?
No, I am. I do believe that, though, because like I think that kind of ties into the idea of embarrassment. Yeah. Because like that is something in the in just like the zeitgeist, the idea of ending a career. You hear that in music, like somebody ended their career like by doing something so stupid. Maybe that's real. I don't know. And like the public.
It's like if you commit like a heinous crime, maybe.
And that's different. That's different than just being a dumbass. But like, you know, it's just like there really isn't anything you can do. Like, you can't, like, obviously excluding like blowing up a building or something, like that's bad.
It's kind of career ending.
Yeah, it's career ending, but we're not talking about
That's bad. Going out on a limb, are we?
Right, but you know, there's nothing you could like. Yeah, there's no art that bad.
No creatively.
There's no nothing
move.
that.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely. You can always make more stuff and redeem yourself,
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
or make it worse. But I mean,
Yeah.
You know, just fucking paint over it too. It never happened
always
if nobody
paint over
saw a picture of it.
You know what's something that I've thought about before that I think is so fucking crazy for like actual famous successful artists?
What?
Is like the fact that like, I don't know, like Kid Leroy, that fucking kid, or like Justin Bieber or someone, like those people literally can never delete something.
Yeah.
Like if you put an album,
Yeah.
even if you put on DistroKid and it's on every platform, like I could delete everything I put online.
That's true.
Yeah.
I could fucking erase myself if I wanted to, but someone like that really can't.
no.
Like,
Someone
isn't that
has
weird?
it somewhere.
Wasn't it you who was telling me that Joe Rogan just deletes episodes of his podcast? Like people
That's
don't know.
true.
That's
That
so
is a
funny
true
because
thing.
it's like everyone knows that you did that.
Not if it was 3 or 4 years ago. Then you could.
But
just
if that's a
snipe an
headline,
episode.
people notice.
No, you're right.
If it's a headline, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
There probably are weirdos who do like every day. They're like checking all of his podcasts. Where's 994? Like, what the fuck?
What happened?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Is he being
Flex
censored?
Okay,
Holy
this
shit.
guy is.
If we have a fan like that, I want them to come forward right now.
Well,
Help
we
them know.
haven't deleted anything ever.
Oh my god.
We actually haven't yet.
But we also don't
Maybe
have
it'll
that many
happen.
listeners.
That's okay.
Oh my god. My favorite message that we've gotten so far that like actually made me like so happy and also like very anxious was the one we got like last week where I said like I don't remember what I fucking said, but I apparently specifically me was going on this like tangent on a recent episode about like if you're 17 and you are gonna go to art school and not have a job after and you're gonna try and make it as an artist, shut the fuck up. And this 17-year-old kid who's going to art school messaged us and was like, that made me laugh so hard because that's me. And I felt so bad. I was like, what the fuck did I say? I don't even agree with that. Did I say that?
I don't even know.
I'm like, maybe I shouldn't talk ever again.
Right.
So I sent this kid this long thing and I was like, if you really believe in yourself, like, you just...
God.
And they messaged back and they're like, no, I really thought it was funny. It's okay.
Shouts out.
Okay, never mind.
Shout out to that person.
Shout out to you. You're doing
so funny.
great.
Oh, man.
I just had like a psychological meltdown. Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
It's fun. This is what I do for fun.
I know, you just got off a long shift and you're here doing this.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Right.
I don't know how you find the energy.
It's hard. The method really, or like the best way to do it is loading up on episodes, like stacking like 5 or 6 of them, and then hiatusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then we fuck off and do other
Like
shit.
watch Outlander and
Yeah, or watch TV, do nothing, fucking, or just work on our own shit.
yeah.
Right now, we actually are completely, I don't know what's a good expression to describe it. We have nothing in the barrel.
Well, we have an episode recording.
So we're kind of we actually,
really?
yeah, we have nothing queued. So we're like, holy shit, we got to make some shit.
8:30, we can stack at least 5. just of us 3.
Right? Yeah.
We can make more.
Loaded for fun.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
No, that seems like it would be the best approach for sure.
Well, the
Yeah,
other
it's
thing
fun.
too is I feel like with the two of us, sometimes it's harder because we talk about this stuff so often that it's like sometimes hard for us to think of things we haven't already talked about. Because we do this in our own time. Like this is just what we like talking about. But with interviews, I feel like it's so fun because if you can find someone that has like 2 hours to hang out, it's almost always great.
Yeah.
Unless the person's like insane, but that's only happened a couple times, and that was fun too.
Yeah, those
It is
could
what
be
it
fun
is.
in their own right.
Yeah. So it's nice because this is what I do anyway. Like hanging out with artists and talking about process is fucking fun.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I
you know?
agree. I just get to do it so rarely, so this is great.
No,
Yeah.
you are a welcome addition to our portfolio
Yeah.
of people we've interviewed.
Portfolio now.
Cool.
So,
Lovely.
no, it's always cool, and I mean, like, I feel like every single one of them is like unique and interesting, and like not what we expected.
Yeah.
Like ever. Like I don't think we've ever interviewed somebody where we went like,
That was what I thought.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
or like it was just like boring and whatever. It's always really cool. And actually, it's funny. One of the first like ways I feel like I was learning how to be an artist when I was like, I don't know, like 18 or 19, is there was an art studio loft building in my town, really close to where I grew up. And I didn't have a studio there, but I would just walk around the building like in the middle of the day.
Me too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like the same shit. I would just walk around and talk to like old people who would like, you know, and old people fucking like really old people love talking to like young people and like be like, oh, like you should like look at like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they fucking like if you, I don't know. That's like some of the best art advice. Somebody told me to do that, I think, a long time ago. I don't even remember where I got that idea in my head, but
Just talk to other artists.
if you can find like older artists specifically, because sometimes people your age or people your peers, they might be like, they might not have time for you the same way, but if you can connect with your elders basically in your community, whoever the fuck that is, old people fucking love talking.
Yeah.
Especially talking to young people and giving them some piece of
Those are
of
like
their
the only
life.
people I've found that I've had a chance to talk to is
Yeah.
the old people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're always around and they're always down to talk, like you said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just super easy, and I don't even have to do anything. They're like, oh, let
just
me
let
tell
them
you
rip.
about the
Yeah.
60s. And I did this in the 80s, and I'm like just there listening, and
Yeah.
it's all cool. But I haven't even met too many young people around my age to talk about with art, so
Yeah.
it's been all old people.
It's really hard in the South Shore, I feel like. There's like not a lot of people. Like, I think that there's a lot of artists around here, but I think that they all kind of just hang out at home or they go to events in Boston.
Yeah,
It's difficult to network.
yeah, there definitely are. Like you were here, and we
Yeah, I grew up here too.
like you
Yeah,
live in the
it's
fucking
weird
middle
like
of
that.
Plymouth.
You just never know who
Right.
you're going to find, even in your own hometown.
Yeah.
But that's probably me not networking enough, or
us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you grew up right near me, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, we
You were
didn't
doing
fucking
house
know
shows
each
and
other.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah.
I think when I started, it was just like, or when I started putting stuff places, I was just like, oh, I love my stuff. I think this is really good, so people will just think it's really good, and like networking will take care of the work will take care of itself. And back to reality, like no, that's just not how it goes.
Yeah.
At least not for me. So you do have to just put in. It's work. Like it really is work. Not all the time.
Yeah.
When you're painting or you're actually doing your craft, it's fun. It's engaging. But there's so much other time spent doing so many other things. So none of it takes care of itself, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You just have to do everything. And if you don't have, like, people in your life who help you with it, then it's, like, it's a lot.
It's a trudge. That's another thing, too, that I think is really interesting to think about is the idea of having, like, a creative support system as well as, like, a regular life support system. Mm. It's like, people promote their friends' projects. And if you have artists that have connections, they're promoting your projects because you're both artists and your friends, that can get you really far. But it's really hard to approach people like that you don't know already without it coming off like you're networking.
Yep.
Like, just actually making friends with other artists is fucking hard.
I just had this conversation with the Sam, who I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And, like, we promote each other's stuff on our Instagrams and stuff and talk to whoever we can about each other's stuff. But that's really as far as it goes.
Yeah.
And we're both still somewhat uncomfortable with, like, going up to people and, like, talking about ourselves in that type of a way.
Yeah.
Just acknowledging that you are an artist and you're trying to do this and having a conversation with someone. I don't know why it's so difficult, but it just is.
Yeah.
There's just a level of me being uncomfortable about it that I can't even, like, quite pinpoint. But, I think maybe it gets better as I go. But
yeah.
I think something, too, that's really been damaging to me and really helpful getting over is the idea, like a really negative belief I fell into probably for a couple years was the idea that everybody is out for themselves. Like, and everybody just wants a leg up and everybody has ulterior motives and this and that. And it's like, I don't know what led me to believing that or what put me in that place, but it was a really, really fucked up framework for me because I stopped like having that openness
Yeah.
and generosity and looking at people and like meeting a random person. And even if they were totally cool and genuine, like there would be this part of me that would think that this person just fucking wants something, or
Yeah.
they're like, I don't know. And that's just not fucking true. Like maybe there's like a portion or a good percentage of people that are like that. Like, sure, there's people that don't give a fuck about you and just want whatever. But it's like odds are that person isn't like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know what I'm saying, but I guess once I got out of that and rediscovered the openness and generosity and just connecting with people, I think the pandemic did that to me actually, to pin it down, is that I had that negativity before the pandemic, and then I got ripped out of the ecosystem and isolated just like everybody else, you know what I mean? And I think I got so much perspective where I was like remembering things like, man, like that person probably wasn't the villain I thought they were.
Yeah.
Or like maybe I was the asshole in that situation or something. And being like, and I feel like a completely different person.
I feel like we're also somewhat conditioned to view the world like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, living here in this country, in this world, we're definitely, there's a part of us that just view the world that way, and maybe people that way. And letting go of that and just being open to everyone is like, you know, hard. But I don't know.
Because it's tough. There are people out there, you know, there's some like, I don't know, there's some people that are just like trying to sell shit or trick people. And it's like, you know, the older you get and the more time passes and the more experience you have, like, you know, you can kind of clock those people pretty fast.
Yeah.
And it's just like on to the next one. Like, it's like, it doesn't have to be like, that's a mistake I made too, is that if I actually did find somebody that was kind of shitty, it was like I focused on it.
Yeah.
And it would really stick with me, and I would carry that energy with me and apply it to the wrong things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, something I think is kind of cool about the art world is like there are definitely a lot of people that are doing that, but you can pretty much tell who those people are because they're the ones that are like, because when you start talking about a project with somebody or like your own stuff or their stuff, they're the ones that are like, oh, cool, this is what I'm doing, and just completely change the subject. Like they don't ask any questions. They don't really care about.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Or the people, the difference between the person who comes to a lot of your shows or all of your shows or even just a handful of them versus the person that's always sending you Facebook invites and never comes to shit. Like, you can tell when you're actually around the same community of creatives for a while.
Yeah.
Or even if you're not, even if it's a new person, you can pretty much sniff it out at this point, I think.
And just the older you get, the better your nose gets for it.
Yeah.
Because you've just been through so many encounters with people. You just learn.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the dude who in college got scammed out of like $1,800 from some dude in like Europe.
Oh, no.
So like, I feel like, it was honestly, it was all on me. The guy was like, I've got a job for you. I was like, okay, really needed money at the time. He's like, I need you to bring this box of things to here, and then I need you to deposit a check into here.
Oh.
And he just finagled his way into my bank account, and it was the worst. I was just like,
horrible.
God, I am just a straight up idiot. This is terrible.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there are people who do that type of shit, and it definitely like closes you off from trusting people, but also like trusting that they have good intentions.
Yeah.
But I'm beyond that now. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm definitely more open and trusting to a certain extent. But
Within reason, a calculated risk.
then exactly.
Yeah.
And the older you get, just the easier it is to sniff that stuff out.
Yeah.
For the most part.
My dad used to say this when I was a kid. I was like too young to really get it, but he'd be like, I'm 55 years old. You can't bullshit me. And I would be like, the fuck does that have to do with anything? Yeah, right. Or something. But that's completely true.
Yeah.
The fuck does that have to do with anything?
Right, like, yeah.
Were you like 13?
You're not better than me. Yeah, like I'm like 12 or something.
Literally, it is kind of better than you.
Right. Like what mentally significantly more experienced and advanced and
My mom used to say stuff like that too.
Right.
Like, I've experienced double your lifetime, and I'd be like, I don't care. It wasn't my life.
Shut the fuck up.
My mom just constantly says, I brought you into this world, I can take you right out. That's
My mom
her
used to say
favorite
that
line.
It's a crime, Mom.
Yeah,
You can't
it's
do
like
that,
you're
actually.
really talking about killing me. She's talking about birthing me and killing me in one sentence. It's insanity.
Oh, wow. What a crazy thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Most people are good, I think.
That's true.
I think most people are good.
And I think most people, even if someone in the group isn't good, we're at a point, like post like high school and early college, if someone's an asshole, everyone in the room can kind of admit they're an asshole. Like they don't just continue to do that with no repercussions anymore, which is nice.
True.
It's really nice to be in that phase of life.
Yeah. We're done with bullshit.
Yeah.
Like your dad said, we're just done with it.
Yeah.
It's like if person is being like that, so just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you acting
You're
like
being
that?
a weirdo.
Yeah.
Being weird.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, so we're about an hour and a half.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
That's good.
Shit, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
No,
It's a fucking good episode. I feel like it's always so like it's so common that they start off like clinical and you don't really know what you're doing, and then eventually it's just like you're talking to somebody you've known forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I really enjoyed it. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, fucking thank you so much for reaching out. Like I said, I had no idea what to expect, and this is an awesome addition
Yeah.
to what we do.
And the follow-up messages do work. Honestly, like full moment of transparency right now. When you were like, they were DMing me so much, like I probably thought I was like a crazy person. The first time you messaged us, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And you messaged us again, and I was like, I did that thing where I was like, who's this person saying that I should interview them? And then you messaged us again, and I was like, you know what? I respect this. Like, we should follow up.
Cool.
It's a good thing.
Well,
Glad it worked.
because it's like
I don't know if that's a scary thing to say.
because there's been probably like a lot of people who have hit us up
Yeah.
to come on that we didn't ignore, and we didn't necessarily like not do. We just kind of like it just got buried or something.
Yeah.
Which isn't even intentional. Just it is kind of hard because I have 2 jobs. You do art stuff full time. Like it can be a lot. So there's just not enough time to interview everybody on a like timely schedule. So I'll say yes to like 10 people, and then it's like to do 10 interviews takes like 6 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so fucking thank you for hitting us up and consistently hitting us up.
Yeah.
Here we are.
That's my thing, I guess. Just keep trying.
it's a good thing though, because I feel like that's true with a lot of creatives, like gallerists and stuff too. Unless you're on a 9 to 5 being paid to answer those emails, like things fall by the wayside.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And something that will always be true about podcasting and interviewing people is that it's a self-selecting group, in the sense that like we have had people that we were trying to get on the show that were fucking amazing artists and really interesting people, but were very, very like nervous about speaking and being recorded or something, and that flat out we're just like, I can't. I literally can't do it, and I'm not going to. Sorry.
Oh, like you showed up to the interview?
Not to that point, but people who might be like, yeah, I'll do that, and then they end up hitting us up the day before, and they're like, I can't.
Yeah.
I literally can't do this.
Which,
and
if you feel that upset about it, I'd rather you not. But it's also, it sucks because it's like it isn't that serious. But in my perspective,
what I think that means though is that like our group of people that we're interviewing are only people that are willing to be recorded.
That's true,
and that is a demographic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like they're like, I don't know. So it's a complicated thing to wrap your head around, because there's a part of me that's like, maybe if I'm a good enough interviewer, then I could make somebody who would never ever want to be interviewed feel comfortable doing that.
But you got to get them in front of you first. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, because if they didn't message you the night before, and if you two just like showed up, it would be totally fine.
I agree.
Like, it just would not be a big thing. They'd be
completely
totally comfortable.
Yeah.
But when you're by yourself and you're like, oh, so nervous the night before, or whatever, it's just so different then.
Which makes sense, because I feel like the word interview is so scary. Like, I feel like people expect like microphone in your face, list of questions.
Like we're gonna have a clipboard and be like, Like when they answer.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Yeah. What's your artist statement?
Yeah.
Can you defend it?
Right.
Oh God.
Right. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I told my dad today. He was like, "Whatever. What are you doing later?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on a podcast." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "For what?" I was like, "For like art and stuff." He's like, "Oh, is it like an interview?" And I was like, "I don't know, like kind of
More or less.
I don't really know what to expect." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, good luck." I was like, "Okay." So it's just like I didn't know what to expect either, even though I've listened to your guys' shows.
Yeah.
But you know, listening to your shows and then actually being in the moment are two just completely different things. But,
Yeah. That makes sense.
for anyone wanting to be on the show, it's super easy. It's not
Good
a big
endorsement.
deal.
Right.
I feel like it's the kind of thing where it's like, you know, before you go to the dentist, they're about to pull your teeth, and they're like, it's not a big deal. Like, it'll be fine.
Oh my God.
I feel like I look
We
like
won't
that
pull
to
your
people
teeth.
sometimes. When I send
Right.
them a message, I'm like, we're going to come over and record you for an hour and a half.
Yeah. So that's
Got
something
the drill in hand.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
That's something we've had to workshop too. Is we've just stopped telling people how long we anticipate the interview will be.
But you kind of have to, because what if they only have like half an hour? That would be like really bad planning on their part.
Why the fuck would they plan it like that? Where are they going?
Yeah.
Where are they going?
like, why would you schedule that before you had to like take a long drive or something? But
A long drive.
I don't know. Like, but like that's the thing is that like
Sorry, I've only got 20 minutes. I've got a long drive. I gotta go.
right.
Gotta clear my
Couple
head.
laps
man.
around the Route 3, but
This is a Shell Shore experience.
yeah,
Just like driving up and down Route 3.
right.
Maybe you go to Wendy's. Maybe you hit Savers.
Yeah, just do circles around the Long Pond McDonald's. That's what I like.
There you go,
Maybe
yeah.
go to the National Park, State Forest.
Yeah. But
See
no,
what's
yeah,
gated up at Miles Standish right now.
yeah. There definitely is some people that require that kind of, I don't know what the word would be, like light touch. You know, where they don't know or they don't think it's going to be like that.
I honestly think people like that just cancel anyway, though.
Yeah.
Most of the people that want to be on the show, either we reach out to them and they're like, yeah, fuck it, and they never think about it again until we're there, or they message us, which means they already wanted to do it and probably already knew what they were signing up for, and we're just like, yeah, and then they're like, okay, cool. That's kind of, you know, but
Yeah.
no, it's a fun thing though. My favorite part of it, honestly, is just meeting people and getting to like talk about the grit of their work, because I
Yeah.
feel like when you meet people that are artists, if you meet them in a context where you're not, if you're at one of their shows, they're probably in like networking mode, which is fine, like that's what you're
Makes
doing.
sense.
Yeah, they're at work basically, but you also can't get to the like meat of that person. You're not chilling with them,
Right.
and then if you are chilling with somebody that makes art, they're probably not going to talk about it.
Right.
Like they're just a person in that
Right.
context.
Yeah. 100%.
So, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So-
I agree.
It's a cool thing to kind of actually have these kinds of conversations,
Yeah.
because they're really hard to find. Like, it's
are.
hard to find people to talk to about this stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of creating a portfolio of them too has like been a very big long-term goal of mine, specifically because I'm not like a historian by any means at all, but I'm really passionate about like history and local history and like, you know,
Documentation.
yeah. And the thing is that like the stories of people, like, you know, they're like the story of like of normal people from any historical period is usually not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people who just like owned a store or something, or were a fucking farmer,
Yeah.
or they were like a tree logger in the Northwest in 1890. Like those people are rarely accounted for in historical records. You know what I mean? And like, you know, not everybody we know is going to be like a demigod, infinitely famous, well-documented artist.
Yeah.
If any. Like, it's just
Yeah.
not going to be
Very
everybody.
few.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that we can just like just encase in stone
At
Just
least an
any-
hour of what they were like.
any number
Yeah.
of people, like these, like, you know, you could make it. And like I would say that about any podcast is that like even if it's the stupidest thing in the world, even if it's like I don't know, whatever, but like it's that
Drop
like
some names right
it
now.
might not be valuable in right now,
Yeah.
but like if those recordings can survive 100 years,
Yeah.
like they might be valuable then.
hope Spotify's still around in 100 years.
Maybe. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's like those recordings could be, and they could be valuable then, even if nobody cares now.
Well, the other thing, too, that I think is interesting is, like, when you're researching, like, art history, for example, and you're looking into, like Andy Warhol. Everyone knows Andy Warhol and, like, his work, but a lot of the scandal around him is, like, stealing concepts from other artists that didn't make it, or, like, Warhol's factory and the culture that he was existing in.
People, like dying in his studio and shit.
That too. He didn't exist in a vacuum, right? And that can be said about any artist. Like, the community that you get new concepts from, like, there's this kind of give and take in these, like, subcultures. And when 90% or 99% of that subculture evaporates into history and this one person is just the pinnacle of it, you don't get the whole flavor of what they were actually doing.
For sure.
Or if they were taking ideas from other people, those people don't get their moment, you know?
Yeah.
Very rarely.
I don't know how much this is going to change anything, but I think it's kind of a cool thing to think about. Because right now, the scene that exists, or I don't even know if it's a scene, we talk to people from all over the place and all over the spectrum of art, I guess, but what's happening is really ephemeral. Like, there are people that will stop making art. There are people that will leave the area. There are people that will do something completely different in 6 months. So it's an interesting thing to think about. Like, if you went to a show right now, or to a market right now, or to an art show right now, the people that are there, what they're doing is going to be different from a year and a half from now. Which I feel like we saw kind of with the pandemic, where the same people were in the same spaces again, but it was like Rip Van Winkle by 2 years. Like, think about that in the scheme of life without having that kind of, like, paying
like
attention to it. Yeah, oh my god.
MCU.
We got blipped, bro.
Holy shit.
Ew, I hate that.
I haven't thought about it like that before. Wow. Holy shit, dude.
No, I think it's super cool and super important, too. Like you said, even if nothing ever happens to these people you interview or whatever, just to, like, get those stories and have them forever, potentially, is just super interesting.
Yeah.
Because these people, they're just people, but that's exactly it. They're just ordinary people who happen to do art. And that's interesting in and of itself.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's making art is just very much a choice, and it's very much it just takes I think it takes a lot from a person to commit time and energy to make it and to put themselves out there. So anyone who's willing to be interviewed or on the podcast and talk about that, they're probably going to be super interesting.
That's true. That's a good point.
Not me, but everyone else. Even.
No, you were interesting as well.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is, like, I feel like being an artist in your 20s or, like, 30s or onward is, like, kind of a different thing than, like when you're, like, 17 or 18 or, like, just kind of starting in the world as, like, a person in, like, a career path. A lot of people are artists, or a lot of people are doing music, and it's not like a weird thing. You're just like a kid, you know? But if you're 25 and you're like, yeah, I work part-time because I paint, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I know, it, like, filters all of that out.
Yeah.
Like, once you hit, like, mid-20s or whatever, and you find people still doing art, it's like...
You're in it or you're not.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Which is cool, because it kind of means that the people that you meet that are artists... Like, you can pretty much sniff out who is going to be really fucking fun to talk to pretty quickly, which is nice.
Damn.
Yeah. I love people with intense passions.
Hell yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
What's your sign, by the way?
I'm a Virgo.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, September 10th birthday.
I decided I'm going to start asking everybody that.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. We never do that.
Yeah. I was thinking about it because we had that one interview with that Amanda. She's a painter, and she also is an astrologer.
I remember that one.
You remember
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should be asking everybody this.
Yeah, so the astrologers out there can just fucking do their chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. What are you guys?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, Leo.
Yeah.
Okay. I know nothing about it. At least now we all know each other.
Yeah.
Right, this is true. Yeah. What an interesting thing. You know what would be a weird show? Is if somebody who was, like, did, like, astrology birth charts did there's somebody's astrology birth chart and just recorded it with them.
Oh, on the show?
Yeah, that was
would be
the
cool.
show.
That would be cool.
Like, they had their own show, or, like, we were there for some reason?
It'll be our show. It'll be
want
a
us to
segment
be
on our fucking show. We're gonna become those people.
The podcast is evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll try to do someone's chart. I don't know anything. But I could go on Cafe Astrology and fuck around.
that would be funny if you just did someone's co-star and went over it with them, and that was the show.
Oh my
It's
God.
like really shitty things. You're just laying on this person.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Oh man.
Do they have dating shows that? I'm just wondering if they have like
Are
dating
based
shows
on
that
that?
are based on star signs and stuff.
Dude,
Like
they
they
would make so much money.
I know. I'm shocked they don't have one of those.
That would be good.
Like a house full of Leos and a house full of Virgos for
my
1
God.
month in Cabo. Like,
That would be
whatever.
so good. That's $1 billion idea right there.
Yeah, people would
Pitch
freak
that
the
shit to
fuck out over
Netflix.
that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Starcrossed could be the name.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Shit.
You're gonna
You
be
should
a millionaire.
delete this from the recording right now, and we're gonna pitch it to Netflix.
That's good.
Censor this part.
Who's got a guy at Netflix? Hit us up. But yeah, anyone with the streaming connect.
With Streaming Connect. Does that work like that?
I have no
I know
fucking idea. Anyway,
The guy who works at Xfinity. Hook us
yeah,
up.
shit. I think that's a good place to leave it. I think this
Yeah.
has been a fucking awesome episode.
An hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah, that's good.
Nice.
Damn, thank you so fucking much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Psyched.
Thank you for hitting us up and
Yeah,
letting
thanks
us
for
into your world and your mind.
And we're
Absolutely.
literally neighbors. If you ever want to hang out or doing any projects or anything, let me know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got space down there.
Hell yeah.
Whatever.
Hell yeah.
Collab. Let's collab.
Yeah.
Let's do a collab.
That sounds
thing.
awesome.
That would be super
Yeah.
fun.
All right, I guess that will shut this off now. Boston Art Podcast. Where can the
Pew, pew, pew.
people find you? We'll put your links in like the
Oh, okay.
whatever you want.
You know what? I don't even know my handle.
Don't worry about it. We'll just put it in.
Yeah,
they'll
my
click on
first
it.
and last name, right?
website is kieks.art.
Okay,
That's my website.
great. Yeah, so we'll collect that from you in the DMs.
Is that your name? Is it Kieran?
Kieran Kelleher.
I thought it was Keeks.
Keeks. Well, so people called me Keeks, so I just
Yeah.
had that as like my
Nice.
thing for
Gotcha.
a while.
It's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah.
So,
Mine's
Hell yeah.
earthworms. It can be worse.
earthworms is tight. I like earthworms.
Thanks.
I actually, I changed it because someone DM'd me and they were like, "I can't believe that's your username, man." And I was like, I literally don't know what you mean. And they thought that it was not Keeks, but the slur.
Oh my god!
And they were like, "What?" They were like, "What do you mean? Like that's so disrespectful." And I was like, "It's literally just my nickname. Like, what are you talking about?" And then it clicked what like he thought it was. And I was like, "Oh no. Like my name's Kieran Kelleher." Like told him what the deal was. He's like, "I'm so sorry."
Oh no.
Then,
horrible.
Message unsent.
yeah. So that was actually a while ago. So I didn't really change it because of that. But
Just like an anxiety thought.
yeah, it's like I
Right.
wonder if people have thought that more than one person.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I used to go by Ridiculame. That was like my Tumblr era username for things, which was just like ridiculous lame. But someone messaged me and said that in Spanish it looks like ridicule me. I don't know if that's true, but I
Yeah,
guess
it's
it
funny, 'cause
translates.
the
to
whole
that.
time
I've
that
gotten that comment multiple
The
times.
whole time that I had known you on social media, I thought I was reading it as ridicule me.
No.
I also thought I don't even speak Spanish. I just thought visually it looked like that.
I can see that too. So I don't know why the Spanish thing was the thing, but I've gotten that comment from multiple Spanish speaking people. So I don't know.
Yeah, so you were like,
But-
"Fuck this name."
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Is this why I'm getting hate?
Oh, right.
just kidding,
People who
but-
think it's like a bit. It's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do it.
motherfucker. Yeah. holy
Come
shit.
off and on.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Also, another great podcast idea.
Yeah. Just like a roast.
Try it. Ridicule me for an hour and a half.
Holy shit.
Can you imagine?
That would
roast
get
that?
toxic so fast. That would get so
That'd be
fucked.
ugly.
Oh my god. Toxic could be a good podcast too.
See, we're actually just coming
Turning
up
out
with
ideas.
chaotic,
Yeah.
bad ideas.
Yeah.
Like,
Is this the like toxic send it mentality that you were talking about earlier?
yeah.
Like
there you
throwing
go.
yourself into shit and not thinking about it?
Starting it, yeah. I think I'm wise enough at this point to know not to start random one-off terrible podcasts because I've started so many, and this is the only one that's ever had any kind of legs to it.
Yeah.
I stand by Starcrossed.
That is a good. That's legitimately good
We should
idea.
have stopped right there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Solid one.
Yeah.
There could be a I wouldn't be surprised. We'll have to reconvene if this happens, and if in the next year there's some case of parallel thinking where just somebody in the world has that type of thing in production right now.
Parallel thinking. They heard our episode.
Right. Right. We'll watch.
Funny.
That'll fucking happen. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
That is such a good idea.
All right.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Boston Art Podcast. Fucking
You don't have to say that at the end.
link in the motherfucking
They
thing.
already know.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they forgot. All right.
Shit, really?
Thank you guys for listening. Hell yeah.
Bye.
Bye.